Derry here from MACMOST. Let me show you how you can hide distracting items in Safari. So starting with macOS Sequoia and iOS 18, you can get rid of distracting items on web pages in Safari. For instance, here I am in macOS Sequoia and I'm viewing a page and there are a lot of distracting items here on this page. Lots of ads, navigation elements, things like that. I can get rid of those by looking for this item up here, which shows you all the viewing options. You'll find a lot of different things here, even summaries of the web page. One of the things you'll find is hide distracting items. Click that and you enter into a mode where you see up here, click an item to hide and a cancel and done button. Now you can click any item like this ad here and it will go away. It even does this really cool effect. You can do that for any item on a page. Notice how when I move my pointer over various items, I see this blue box around them. So I can get rid of items just by clicking on those boxes. And you can see they leave holes, but sometimes also collapse the page to take up the space. When I've hidden the items that I want, I can click Done. Clicking Cancel would have just returned the items there. Now that I'm on a page where I've hidden items, I see this little eye with a line through it here in the address bar. So I know that I've got hidden items there. And this is actually just part of this button, which is just now larger. So I can click on it and I get all the controls here, including Show Hidden Items, which will restore the ones that I've removed, or Hide Distracting Items, which will allow me to resume hiding even more items. Another item here is Report Distraction Control Issue, which will then allow you to report if, say, the page doesn't behave correctly after you remove items. This will help Apple fine-tune this feature in the future. Now the iPhone, it works in a similar way. If you're at a page like this one and you see some items that you want to get rid of, you can click on the same button there in the address bar and then choose Hide Distracting Items. And then you see that same blue box over things. You can click on those and then they do that same cool animation to get rid of them. And then when you're done, you can click Done. There's a cancel button over here as well. You'll see that same little eye with a line through it icon there. And you can go back in and hide more or show the items that you've hidden. It has the report menu item there too. And it works the same way on iPad OS 18 as well. By the way, if you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MACMOST at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it right here. Now there's some details here. One is that items that you get rid of should stay hidden even if you reload the page. So let's give this a try here. I'll reload this page and I could see that the items are hidden, but now there's a blank space. So this could be something that Apple fixes in the future. It could also have to do with how this particular page is put together. It could be that the space is allocated after Safari already tells the item not to display. Either way, it's not that bad to have a white space here. But notice how after a little bit a new ad appears. Why does this happen? Well, most likely it's because this is an actual different element than the previous one, the one we got rid of. Think if that first one is ad 1 and then this is ad 2 and ad 2 we didn't tell to get rid of. So we see it when it loads that second ad and ad 3 and ad 4 and all of that. But the item here to the right side probably is like an item called right sidebar or something. And even if the ads inside that are changing, they'll still be invisible. Now sometimes it'll work across pages on the same website. If this right sidebar is the same across all different web pages, then we may find we never see it now on this website. And in fact, if we go to an article here and we look up here, we can see that it still thinks that some items here are hidden. But we can see that on this site, there's a different sidebar for some different ads that appear here on the right. So whether hiding distracting items hides them for the whole site or just that page really depends on how the site is constructed. So it's really just a feature that does the best it can with the information it has. Apple describes this on its help page as if other pages on the same website use the same items in the same way, they're hidden on those pages as well. So what are some uses for this? Well, one use is a simple accessibility or readability issue. Some people may have trouble digesting the information on a page if there are flashing or distracting elements, and being able to eliminate them from the page, even if it just leaves a blank space, will make the content easier to read. Another issue you may come across is sometimes web pages are poorly constructed. Sometimes there are elements that cover things that you're trying to read. If this happens, you can use this feature to get rid of those items covering other things. Now also, if you need to take a screenshot of a website, maybe even it's your own website, but there are typically ads on it, you can use this feature to get rid of those items for a nicer screenshot. The same thing for doing recordings. And this is also true for making presentations. This, of course, is very useful to me. If I'm doing a tutorial, I can get rid of some ads or other items on websites so I can show certain functionality without that distraction. It's the same thing if you're making a presentation in a class or a meeting, even online on Zoom or whatever. You can go in ahead of time, get rid of those distracting items, and then when you show the page, you're not kind of embarrassed by which ad shows up. But of course, everybody immediately thinks of this as a way to block ads, but it's really not effective that way. First of all, you have to see the ad to block it. At that point, you probably paid more attention to the ad than you would by just ignoring it. Plus, of course, tons of different websites rotate ads, meaning that you'll block ad 1, but then ad 2 will rotate in after 30 seconds, and you would have to block that and continue to block some. And the next time you go back to the page, it may show you ad 37, and it won't actually get rid of that. You have to block that. So it's really not very effective as an ad blocker. I should add that reader view is probably still the best way to actually digest an article like this one. If I just go in here, instead of hide distracting items, I use show reader, then I get this, which a lot of times could be much better. And sometimes there may be other elements like images and graphics and such that you want to see that are part of the content that using reader view hides. So hide distracting items may work better in some cases. It really depends on which site and which page on that site you're at. And two other notes. Apple warns that if you're using a content blocker like an ad blocker, it may conflict with distracting items. Also, if you clear your browser history or website data, it should also clear all of these distracting item flags. In general, website code is dynamic enough and it's changing all the time. And I would never expect to go to a web page on a site, hide some distracting items, and that would be permanent for all of the different pages that you're at on that site. I would do it just as a one-time thing while you're viewing that page right there, and not have any particular expectations that you've permanently changed how you're viewing that web page or site into the future. So it's definitely a worthwhile technique to know about as long as you have reasonable expectations for it. And it's also pretty satisfying to see that animation, especially if the item is particularly annoying. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.